Hi there, and welcome back to my garden, and welcome back to another potato reveal. It's another early bucket potato. This time the variety is called Jazzy. I have it since quite a couple of years, and it's one of the better early varieties. Some of them are just, the taste is a little boring, but Jazzy, the taste is fine. And for giving such an early crop, the yield is really okay. As you can see, I'm harvesting it slightly early. There's still a good amount of life in the plant. And the potatoes in here would continue to grow a little bit more, but I need potatoes. So I'm going to harvest these. And something which also is important to keep in mind when you're harvesting early potatoes and get a little disappointed about how much you're harvesting in here, they didn't have the same time to grow and put on a bulk of potatoes like late crops. Late crops get a lot more time to deliver, and the early ones, I see a lot of potato reveals where people are disappointed that they don't get much, but remember, it's just been 10 weeks or 11 weeks, so it's fine. Whatever you get in that short amount of time is a bonus. So that's how I view it. I don't expect more than a kilo from early crops in buckets. In the ground, they make slightly more, but they grow in a very, very short time frame. And oftentimes the weather is not perfect for growing potatoes either, so they don't have the best possibilities to produce a bumper crop like main crops or late cropping varieties. So let's see what we get here. And first thing I get to see is a fat grub. I'll save that one for the chickens. They will be happy to see. And yeah, it's not bad. Can you see that? That's not too bad. There's potatoes showing here. And more potatoes showing here. That's looking promising. And just remember, when you like to watch potato reveals, like and subscribe my video. That helps your algorithm to suggest you more potato reveals from other channels, and it helps my algorithm. Oh, look at that. That's nice. It helps my algorithm so more people find my videos. And let's be honest, none of your friends will judge you for watching potato reveals. There's worse things to watch and like on YouTube. So, as you will have noticed, I never cut off the tops of the plants. I think it's just an unnecessary step. This way I can grab the plant and the roots and shake off the soil, which makes things easier, and I don't have to remember where I get my garden scissors. And That's not a bad harvest. There's lots of tiny potatoes, but Jazzy has the tendency to make some decent sized ones for early potatoes. That's like regular size, and lots of tiny ones too. Other early varieties are making fewer tubers and bigger tubers. But Jazzy, that's kind of, yeah, that's what Jazzy does. And here's the, whoop, lost that one. Here is the shell of the seed potato. And a tiny worm goes on the compost heap. So I don't really grow the early potatoes for having a huge crop from them. I grow them to get an early potato treat with the tender skin of the tubers. If you just give it, I won't do that now, but if you press here, you can just rub off the skin. So that's a really nice thing. And after having last year's potatoes all winter long, oh, look at that, that's nice, that's a good size. Having the old potatoes all winter long, it's a really special thing to get to eat the new potatoes. And I always make sure to grow several different varieties of potatoes, so I balance out the advantages and disadvantages of the different varieties. As I already said, Jazzy often makes like tiny this size, but lots of them, and other varieties have fewer but bigger potatoes, even though they're also an early variety, like Twister. Twister usually gives me fewer potatoes but bigger ones. So there's always something you can do with the small ones, like fry them in a pan whole, and oh, another grub makes the chickens happy. Happy chickens, good eggs. So I always look at the variety, what it's giving me, and then I decide what to do with it. So Jazzy will have, I'll wash up a lot of tiny potatoes and we'll fry them in a pan, and everybody will be happy. I won't try to make mashed potatoes with them. It's not the variety for that. And here you can see what I mean with the skins rubbing off really easily. So I must have rubbed it against the side of the bucket or something, but here the skin is rubbing off, and that's why you should not try to keep them as seed potatoes for next year. If you're harvesting something early with green tops, don't try to keep it. It's not going to keep well. And there we go. Can you see that? Yep. That's quite a nice harvest. Will be interesting to see the weigh-in. I think that's the biggest Jazzy potato I ever harvested. They usually are not that large. So I'll use the spent soil again in the bucket to plant some potatoes that I chitted, so they get a head start. I'll see. I think this year's experiment with bucket potatoes will be to see how late I can get away with planting in a bucket and still get a crop, so that will be interesting. So all the buckets I'm emptying out right now will be filled with potatoes again. Let's see. And how much are we getting? You get to see first. It is. Oh wow, that's good. That's 2 kilos. That's surprising. A little over 2 kilos, maybe 2 kilos 50 grams. It's not easy to see on the fishing scales. So that's a lovely harvest. That means we get to eat a little bit longer before I'm harvesting the next bucket. That's wonderful. So thanks so much for watching. Happy gardening, happy potato harvesting in case you already have some to harvest. And yeah, see you next time. Bye!